Here we go.
What's going on, everyone? Joey here with Tim. How do you pronounce your last name?
You want to go the Thibodeau route or the Thibodeau route?
Is it Tim Thibodeau? What is that? What is the origin of this name?
French Canadian, French Canadian brother.
Are your parents like super French Canadian?
So,
Do
so
you,
here's the thing. French Canadian origin. My dad doesn't speak a lick of French, and my mom's from Peru. So,
I could
I
see the Peruvian actually. I
it,
could
it's
see
funny
the Peruvian.
because it's like people see the nose. The first thing they think is Jewish all the time. I don't get Peruvian ever. So,
No, I mean I've only had one. I had a guy on my shit, dude. He was on my basketball team when I was like 16 in the park leagues.
mhm.
And his name was George. I still remember him, and he was really, really good. He was really, really good. And he was a super. He was like the for being that young and that humble. He was a little bit older than me, but he was super nice. And I always remember that he was Peruvian because we lived in I grew up in a very predominantly Hispanic area,
Mhm.
so the other Hispanics would always like point out that he was not Mexican, Guatemalan, or whatever is common here.
Yeah,
So it was so it was like just they really made us know like, yo, this guy's Peruvian, you know what I mean? They always made jokes about it. So
yeah,
I could see that. It's such a weird, it's like an obscure thing. It's not a very common thing.
yeah.
But yeah, interesting. But anyway, we're here with Tim. I see you got the nice banner with the lighting in the background. Is this location underground?
This location is underground. It is in the basement, and it's a very, very small room because if I just reach my arm up, I could touch the ceiling.
Is that a window?
Ceiling. Yeah, that's a window right there because our backyard is right here. We have this strip along the house that was originally just this dirt patch, and we had actually installed those windows in there just to add a little bit more light because we had some family from Peru. Speaking of which, this used to be a bedroom, so we just figured we'd add a little bit of light down here, but since they left, they moved down to Georgia. I turned it into the little bunker that we have here, known as the Thibodeau.
Is
So
this the same place that this house? Is it the same location when we did the podcast years ago?
it is. Yep, still living at home.
Just a completely okay. So see, I didn't even know that you lived with your parents.
Yeah,
I did not
yeah,
know that.
yeah. That's the thing about New Jersey. And maybe if we get on the topic a little bit later, but because of some things that happened over the past few years, I haven't been able to save up enough money to move out just yet. And on top of that, it's really, really expensive in New Jersey. And I know that we talked about it on and off, and I even mentioned it in a video that I'm going to be moving out of here within the next year and a half or so to somewhere significantly cheaper than New Jersey.
I was just gonna say one of the reasons for staying at home would be to save money,
Yeah.
but it sounds like that's not happening.
So
I
I
know you
think,
have a stable job. I know you have a good
well,
job.
yeah, but I think yeah, I think we talked about this the last time we did a podcast, which was what, like 2.5 years ago or something. I was supposed to get married this past Sunday because all that shit got and which is funny because I don't even know if the wedding would have happened with everything going on right now.
Did you
Uh,
put money into that?
that's the part that I was going to get to. We put so much money into that, but because we had to cancel everything, you only keep your security deposit. Every other payment that you make after that, you lose out on. So it was the venue, the people with the food, the cameras, all that shit. I lost out
That
on.
is the most horrible thing. That is so. How did you, dude? That would depress. That would. Oh my God. That
And
is what kills me is like you always think about what your life could have been like had a massive financial obstacle that you perhaps could. The worst thing is like, man, I might have been able to avoid this, right?
mhm.
I mean, you never know. I like to think that you got to go through. You need to go through with some sort of path in life, and as you're going on this path, even if it's something that you think that you want at the time, you're gonna figure out if you really wanted to do that or not.
Oh
Some
no,
people,
absolutely, yeah.
yeah, I'll let you speak, but some people they don't know. They think that's what they want, right? And
Hmm.
you can't really blame them because at the time it seemed like a good idea.
Hmm.
And how old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
I just turned 27 last month.
Yeah, so you were young. I mean, 25 is pretty young.
Yeah.
25 is pretty damn young. Um, and you don't, dude. I mean, you go through a lot of shit and you learn a lot of stuff about yourself. So, I would say, would you say that's one of the most impactful, massive life events in terms of just how that affected you as a person and your lifting?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I really wouldn't even say so much as lifting, but then again, I don't know because, like you said, we can't really project how our life can be a few years down the line. Like if I had gone through with it, I probably wouldn't be as serious into lifting as I currently am. Um, did it change me as a person? Absolutely. In terms of strictly relationships, going through something I wouldn't even say as traumatic as that, but just going through something as serious, it goes to show what you should and shouldn't be looking for because I was getting ready to spend the rest of my life with this person, and then all of a sudden it just. But the silver lining here is I just saw that it would have ended in a divorce. So it's either eat the cost of it now, deal with a few months of emotional distress rather than having to go through lawyers, potential custody of children, even more financial burden in the future. So it's just those things I look at today that I avoided all that by making it was basically taking the lesser of two evils in that situation.
Silver
So
lining.
yeah.
Damn. Was this a gradual thing that you saw, like, oh yeah, I could see this happening or I could see this coming, or was this it just fucking happened out of nowhere and you're completely blindsided and you're just like, God damn, what do I have to do? What am I doing in my life?
I mean, it was a gradual thing, and I'm not ever going to claim to be like a guru on relationships or anything because everybody goes through different shit in their lives. But you go through so much and you try to instill as much faith as you can in your partner because this is the person you're potentially going to be spending the rest of your life with. So you essentially have to learn how to live with this person. But out of everything I tried and just a bunch of things leading up to it, and this isn't to speak bad on her or anything because still a sweet girl as far as I know, but there's just so many things that showed themselves as soon as the engagement ring went on the finger. It's like everything.
Interesting. Was it like jealousy or anything like that, or
No,
was it
it
just
wasn't
insecurities?
jealousy. It was more her trying to and again difference of perspectives, but it was more through my eyes, it was more her trying to swallow my life instead of integrate her life with mine. So now I've got like this idea to open up the gym whenever that may be, like 2 or 3 years, that probably wouldn't have happened at all if I had stayed with her. So now I'm just by my lonesome, just focusing on myself and just trying to become the best me before I invest myself into anybody else.
Do you
So,
think um, that this experience taught you to sort of know what signs to watch out for and learn a little bit more about yourself in terms of what you're willing to tolerate and not willing to tolerate when it comes to a significant other?
well, absolutely. And I think that if people like they have their high school sweetheart, for example, good for you, good on you.
That's
I
very
think,
rare, by the way. It's
oh yeah,
extremely rare.
yeah,
Of all the people that I can think of that I still follow, I could think of like one. I could think of like one, maybe two. But yeah, it's so fucking rare that that happens, dude. It's like it's just a dream. It's just a dream, honestly. It's like
if anything, I think it's kind of healthy to go through multiple relationships because, like you said, it teaches you what to look out for, and it makes you more aware of what you're going to look for in a life partner. So,
Yeah, I think if you are a very objective person, an intelligent person, and someone that is able to sort of look at their life from an objective point of view, say, damn, I shouldn't have done this, or I don't like doing this, or whatever, you learn more about yourself, and then you make adjustments moving forward. That's how you
mhm.
learn and grow. That's why we like anime so much, right? Because there's life lessons. There's life lessons to be learned. There's really, really. I don't know what it is about Japanese culture. I think it has something to do with their language or the way that they teach them growing up in school or something. But they use words or they express themselves in a way that shows more depth to a situation or to life or um, I don't even know how to describe it. I feel like the English language is very like it's just plain. It's very plain. You could be kind of descriptive,
Yeah.
but like how in a lot of languages you could say a word and it and you could never say it in English. You can't say it in English. It has a meaning that is hard to do like you're never gonna match it up perfectly using the English language. I don't know why that is. It's just it is what it is.
I mean that kind of goes with the whole sub versus dub argument for anime because no matter what, subs will always be better than dubs.
The reason, yeah. So also, um, it is. I watched a whole video actually, guys. For those of you that didn't know, on the reason why sub is often a lot better than dub is because in Japanese there are a lot of expressions that you can make that make sense when they do it. And even though with the structure of their sentences and the way that they say things, when you try to do that in English, you can't. Yeah, so we end up like trying our best to like match truly what they meant. Honestly, language fascinates me. At the end of the day, I mean, even when I think about my programming, all language all my programming is a way for me to take my thoughts and give that to you.
Mhm.
How can I take what I'm thinking and like best give it to you that will allow you to do what I'm trying to ask of you, right? So there's a reason why I write things the way that I write them, and I would like to think it's like minimal paper, a lot of explanation, and a lot of like, me. I mean, you've been with me for a long, long time,
Mhm.
so the main values and things that I want you to apply to your lifting, like you already got it, so it's not constant. Your form is pretty much what your form is going to be. You know what I mean? There's little things here and there we can fix, but um, yeah, it's just a language. It's just communicating, and communication is like not an easy thing, and it takes a lot of time to get get that down. That's what a relationship is too.
Mhm. Absolutely, yeah.
Um, so it's like if you ever seen in those movies, I don't know if this happened in any Marvel movies where like they touch you and you just get their thoughts, like you just learn everything that they're thinking.
I can't say it has. No, I don't think so.
There's
I
a
do know what you're talking about though. I do know what you're
there's an
talking
ability in Hunter x Hunter. I won't like give all of it, but basically it's a bullet and it doesn't hurt you, but if you shoot someone with it, everything that you're thinking will go into their mind and they'll just understand.
about.
It's
Mm.
very convenient for progressing the plot because you don't have to explain everything. You know what I mean? Like if one character knows it, instead of explaining it, when a character goes, "What are you talking about?" You just give it to them and they understand. So,
I'm trying to
um,
think what happened in. I mean, do you remember when in the pain arc in Naruto when Naruto ended up touching that one? I think it was a tree that he touched, automatically led him to pain. Would you say that's kind of the same thing, or just more trans?
no, it's like let me think.
It's more like
It's
locating
like
instead of.
reading your. It's like you can read someone's mind by simply touching. Professor X from X Men can do it. But yeah, it's yeah, communication is not an easy thing. I mean, that's all a relationship is building. It's building tolerance for certain things because here's what people don't understand, right? A relationship is you're taking a completely different person, another human being that grew up different than you. That usually what happens is like this is a lot of stuff that they do in their life that's very different from the way that you do it, and in the middle there's going to be common things, and usually the main thing, let's just say it's like love, right? You love each other unconditionally, so you're willing to learn about these other differences and sort of intertwine. You come up with a new normal that ends up appeasing both sides. It's like somewhat of a compromise, but not enough to the point where one side is losing their happiness,
Mhm.
if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, I get that, yeah, yeah,
So I mean that shit is like a lot easier said than done. Let me tell you.
yeah.
Did you guys live together?
No, and I think that is kind of it potentially could be what led to the downfall, but her family was very traditional in the sense of like you can't move out until you marry somebody or you're at least engaged with somebody.
That's
We
very
were
backwards.
we were gonna get ready to move into another financial quote unquote burden I avoided. We were ready to move in together at the turn of the new year, but we ended things December of 2018, I think, because we were already looking for places. So we were this close to moving in, and
I think
that
that is that should be like a requirement before you think about getting super serious with someone because if you can't do that, I mean
yeah.
that has to be like you have to be able to get through that, you know. Um,
And again, I don't mean to make anybody sound like the bad guy because it ultimately is a two-way street. Like I'm sure like some of what I did annoyed her, like training 5 days a week, and it was a pretty long distance thing
I
where
mean,
she
let
was.
me tell you, for people listening right now, for people that's a big thing. If your significant other has a problem with you in the gym, I mean my long term ex before Tina was like that. She just didn't care for my training, and I'm like, I mean, I feel like a lot of the attraction back then was very like surface level, and I was like, well, if you want me to look like this, I have to keep training, right? You know, but I don't know. It was we're young, we learn things, you know what I'm saying? So,
Oh no, but I'll tell you how bad it is, and you know, it's probably the last thing I'm going to say on it, but I just still find it really funny to this day. The day that we ended things, the day we're like, we're not fiance anymore. I was training. It was like 6:30 at night, and I had asked for just 1 day of space or 1 or 2 days of space. She called me the next day, like, if you don't come to my house now, we're done. It's over. I had just
it's
gotten
done.
I had just gotten to like my top set on squats. I remember I think I had 435 on the bar for working sets, and I still had my sleeves on. I'm like, fuck this. I'm just gonna go there, settle this. I drove all the way down to South Jersey, about an hour and a half away, in traffic, with my knee sleeves on. I didn't even bother taking them off because I was so upset. And then after that, it was done and everything. But I just that. But again, it's like she was more upset that I was training and not talking to her, and then all that shit happened.
There's more issues with that whole thing, her thinking that. But I mean, again, um, I mean, you're a nice guy. I wouldn't have done that. I would turn my phone off.
It is what it is.
I
So
would just turn my phone off. Changing subjects here. How did you get into YouTube and like what inspired you to like why did you want to start posting on YouTube? What year was this? Because the fitness powerlifting landscape was extremely different years ago than it is now.
let's see, it was 2013. So I joined during the days of like the whole full days of eating and if it fits your macros and everything. And I thought that I could bring a different demographic to YouTube Fitness because I was just entering my junior year of college. I was transferring to a private university back then. So I figured, film some workout videos at the school gym, film what I eat at the dining hall and everything. And then here we are today, just transformed what like 5 years post that, and now I'm just it's not so much I'm doing whatever, but I'm just posting every now and then for strictly powerlifting rather than just general fitness.
Yeah, I think it's a lot harder to one like general fitness. Okay, in my experience, just from when I used to be a personal trainer years ago to a powerlifting coach now, people in general fitness, they're very wishy-washy. They're super inconsistent, and they don't really have a lot motivating them to stay with it. Um, I have found, I mean, I had a couple people stay with me for years, even after I left like commercial gyms and I was on my own. They just stayed with me for years, but I think it was more so because they liked me as a person,
Yeah.
and we were exercising too. But they like conversating and things like that. But with powerlifting, we're all gonna compete, right? Nobody
Hmm.
wants to look like shit. It's like competitive and whatever. I mean, you don't want to go and embarrass yourself, so
Yeah.
you stay with it a lot more. Also, I think that powerlifters are gonna be. I mean, the serious ones are gonna be more intrinsically motivated in terms of like I'm never gonna not train. I train like I'm gonna compete right now, and I'm not competing. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I just do it. I don't expect everyone to be that way. I have over the years become more sympathetic to other people's different mental states. I'm not trying to say that I'm like above anyone because at the end of the day, like there's people that don't lift that are probably very driven towards things that aren't lifting, and
Hmm.
I respect that, I would hope that they do some form of physical activity, because it's good for you. You know what I mean? You can't just sit around. I think majority of health problems, like literally, I think majority of health problems can be solved by not just sitting around doing nothing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just just some type of activity could be so healthy for anybody.
How did you get into what led you to powerlifting specifically? Was there like one lifter that you were like, "Damn, that person's sick. Let me go look at this powerlifting thing."
Well, and I know it's a very cliche answer, but Candido, he's the very, very first power, and that's probably because he was one of the, if not the first serious powerlifter on YouTube at the time. Because like the very first video I put up, I think it was like a 385 or 405 deadlift PR that I had done. I was like, oh, this is really cool. I actually really enjoy lifting heavy things instead of just going into the gym for the pump. And then I was looking around for free programs, and I found Johnny's program, and found out that he had a YouTube channel. So he's the very first serious powerlifter that I followed, and it's funny because I don't know if you saw the podcast on Omar Isof's channel,
I did
but then
not.
Johnny ended up talking about me on there because he was like, "Yeah, Tim's like one of the first like powerlifters on YouTube," and he ended up beating my absolute best total. And this is when he was still injured and everything, because his performance at Raw Nats this past year was nothing short of amazing. But he said something along the lines of, "Yeah, he's just like motivating me and pushing me that much harder. Like these are the types of people that continue to push me because they looked up to me at one point and still do to this day." So I just find it funny that he's the very first powerlifter that I followed, and I got a little recognition from him. It was a really cool experience.
What I like about Johnny is that I was also mentioned on that podcast, and he will always, um, whether like he's a very objectively will give positive like credit to. Like for example, if he has no affiliation with you, but you are doing something great, he will be the first one to say it. He's not gonna be. He doesn't really like. I mean, I don't see it. Maybe because I'm on the positive end, but he like when I first came into powerlifting, I didn't necessarily feel super welcomed by the people that had already been there before. Um, but he was always one, especially at Worlds with John Hack in 2016. He was like literally with us. He went to go eat with us. He was hanging out with us the whole time. I remember we were in the hotel room, and it was just like really fun, and he was always just supportive. So it was like nice to have that support. I mean, now things have changed. You gotta earn your stripes and whatnot. But that's super dope. So Johnny got you into it. Then you started doing it because you thought it'd be fun. Was anything ever financially motivated? I don't even know what the money was like back then. I remember talking to Nick Wright. It used to be a lot better, I think, on YouTube. Did you
Oh,
ever were you ever like making money from YouTube where you're like, oh damn, I could like make money from this?
I mean, I take a look at it today. I take a look at the analytics, and there is potential there. But I've been watching a few people outside of fitness on YouTube lately, and a lot of the money actually just comes from, and I think we talked about this on your stream the other day. A lot of the money just comes from actual companies sponsoring the videos because you don't get shit from ad revenue,
Yeah.
like if you're earning anything from YouTube, you should be super thankful that people decide to watch your content and appreciate the work that you put into it. But you can't live strictly off of ad revenue. It's just impossible to do that. So it's like
I think if you're, I would say it's extremely rare. It's extremely rare.
yeah, for the 99%, it's impossible.
Yeah.
But for the 1%, like Casey Neistat, for example,
That's a good percentage, 99 to 1. I would say maybe even less.
yeah, yeah, but like if you take a look at a gaming video and it's like, oh, this video is sponsored by Ridgewall, it's like they probably got paid like $6,000 to $7,000 just to see
What are
that.
some of the big ones? It's Ridge Wallet,
Ridge,
Manscaped,
NordVPN
Manscaped,
is another one. NordVPN,
NordVPN, Ridge Wallet, Manscaped, NordVPN. It's crazy. Hey, marketing fucking works,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Um.
It's like those are the companies that pay the big bucks to these people with like at least
Oh,
100K.
oh, oh. Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends is another one.
Well, we can't talk
Um.
about this until
Yeah, dude. Like, so I started getting back into this game called Destiny. So I had to go back and like catch up on all these YouTube videos. And for the last 6 years of me playing this game or just knowing of this game, there's this one YouTuber that starts all of his videos. I mean, a lot of them do it, but this guy's like the king of it. Like the first 5 minutes is like, today we're gonna talk about this, but before we get into the video, make sure you subscribe and do this and do this. But before we get into the video, this video is sponsored by this, and then like 7 minutes into it, then they get into it. So it's just like,
Yeah.
damn, man, it
Mhm.
annoys me so much. So I just
Yeah.
fast forward it. I also don't have ads on my YouTube on my PC, which is really good, but on my phone, it's very annoying.
Yeah. Absolutely.
um, so during this time, um, how has the Rona affected your work, your training, and what were your sort of initial thoughts when we got hit with everything? When, like, I think it was right when I got back from the Arnold. Um, I got back from the Arnold. I did one session at Zoo, and then it was closed.
Mhm. So this is kind of the timeline of things for me. I gyms were still open, but I had a trip to Colorado one weekend. So that one training session, I went to the powerlifting gym that I have a membership at. I left there because it's like there's too many people. I've got a plane to catch. My last workout was at LA Fitness. I get back, everything is closed. I'm like, oh, okay, this is fantastic. And I figured at the time, because I had mentioned in a YouTube video already that I wanted to open a powerlifting gym in New Jersey. So I bought a bunch of plates back in, I think it was November for the Black Friday Rogue sale. I had a bunch of plates. I'm like, why don't I just sell maybe like 1,000 kilos or something like that off or something, and start a home gym. So I wouldn't say it's affected me too much in terms of training. Like until everything got here, it was probably 2.5 weeks I took off of training, so it took a while to get back into everything. But it hasn't changed much for me because I kind of like training alone. It's very very strange. I just enjoy the solitude. Granted, we've got Twitch and everything, but I enjoy the solitude. I enjoy being able to do everything on my own terms because I would always get to the gym maybe like 6 p.m. every single day, and that's prime time for everybody going there because everybody's got a full time job. And I would be there until like midnight sometimes because I'd be waiting for all the equipment um, to be free up. So it's freed up a lot of time for me. With work, thankfully, I can work from home right now. It has been a little bit of a struggle, but we were able to take our docking stations from the office, and I just have that in the other room. So it hasn't been that big of an adjustment, but I do miss the social aspect of everything a little bit.
At work, you mean?
No, at the gym.
At the gym? Oh, okay.
I am the most like because at work it's just two objectives: get to work, get work done, and well, three objectives, and then leave. It's like I'm just so focused on what I do there. I don't have the time for anybody at my
Is it
job.
very corporate?
It is extremely corporate, and it doesn't help that I'm probably the youngest person in my department, and I'm really not one person for small talk. It's like, oh, putting peanut butter in your oatmeal today, right? It's like, yeah, I am. I'm gonna go now. So, and maybe it's just my personality. I don't know, but it's just one of those places where I don't really socially mesh with anybody that well. So,
Would you say that you are the type of person that when you're working a job like that, you would rather just put your head down and work and just kind of keep to yourself and not fuck up and
yeah,
get out?
absolutely, yeah.
There's
Hmm.
something about that I also can relate to. I would much rather be doing what I'm doing now, but in the experiences that I can remember where I did have a job like that, I mean, there would be days where I would go in and I would talk to one person maybe a little bit and that would be it. And I just clock in, clock out. Well, it's good that you can train. How long did it take for you to be able to bring everything to the house, or did you already have it? The training stuff.
So I had two bars that I left at the one powerlifting gym. I had my Alico and my Texas deadlift bar. So I just had to get those. That was really quick, but everything else was pretty much already here. Everything came within a week or two, and then it took another week to set up. Like I don't have a
I don't
lockout.
remember you missing a beat.
No, I missed a couple weeks. Yeah,
I don't really remember this. Maybe in our messages. I mean, I have short-term memory, but like I
yeah.
forget shit.
I think we talked about it a little bit. Like I mentioned that I'm going to be getting equipment in, and just let you know when all that would be taken care of. So
I'm sure if I look back at the training, it would reflect that. I do remember talking to you about changing your split, completely changing it, which I think has made a huge difference.
Oh yeah, I think we
Also,
can make it
what
work.
I mean, since we're on that, let's talk about it. What do you think is the biggest thing to helping your training right now? Because it seems like you're just having more consistent days. You have a lot more momentum. Mentally, you seem to be in a lot better state. Um, like, what is helping? What is helping that?
I would have to say the decrease in stress. Because I will say the one thing about working at the office is, people physically coming to you with, multiple different things. So that raises stress as is, and work and stress is to be expected with any job, no matter what you do for a living. Um, but also just being, and it goes back to being by myself. Um, and don't get me wrong, I do love everybody at the gym that I used to train at, but because and I'm not putting myself on a pedestal, but this is what people have told me. It's Tim walking into the gym, so everybody has to come and talk to Tim, and that kind of stresses me out. It's like I just want to go in there, get my stuff done, and then just leave. So taking that element away, and also taking away the stress from work, it's had a huge, huge impact on my training. And also everything's just more consistent. Like I'm going to sleep around the same time. I'm eating the same thing practically every single day. I don't have to eat out for lunch all the time. So it's just keeping up with uh, diet, decrease in stress, and that's pretty much it. It's really really simple for me.
I mean, it just seems like there was always something before.
Well, I mean, do we?
There was always something going on.
Yeah. Well, it's going on what, like 4 years that we've been together now. I think it's going on 4 years we've been
I
together.
mean,
It's like,
I can tell you when things are good, but I feel like for you specifically, I don't know if you saw my last video, but I have all these columns, and in
mm,
each column, you should watch it by the way. Your total will go up. I'm not joking. Each column, everybody should go watch that video right now. All right, I'm very proud of it. Each column is like a training variable or something that in your life that you can control that will one of them you can't really control, and that's the stress column, right?
yeah.
And even if all the other columns are on point, like they're matching their goals, if for you, if the stress is like five and up, a six and up out of 10, I mean, we're gonna see the singles go down. We're gonna see just not being able to do as much. Maybe you skip a meal. I know for you, it's like getting enough protein, make sure you're eating enough, just being on point with all those things, drinking enough water. I drink three of these a day. This is 74. No, I drink three, and then before bed I'll have like another one that's full, and maybe I'll get it to like this point before I go to bed.
Yeah.
But water is really important. I feel like you recover faster when you drink water. You feel better. You don't get headaches. I eat a shit ton of sodium, so if I don't drink a ton of water, I'll just die. But yeah, man, it's whatever's your bench is especially just flying.
I have no idea what's going on with that because body weights, it's not taking any huge jumps or anything, but benches, it's reflecting as if I was to gain a lot of weight, but I'm happy with it
It's
regardless.
so weird, man, because how many days do I have you benching?
You have me benching 4 days a week right now.
Is that since when?
I think we started doing that at the beginning of this, actually, so 2 blocks ago.
All right, well, low stress, more bench, more
Hmm.
gains. There we go. There we go. And I wouldn't say, I mean, you have some pecs, right? You have some pecs, so I wouldn't say you have the worst genetics for bench, but out of the three, deadlift would definitely be your best one.
Hmm. Still working on that right now, but
And then I think your squat is a lot better than you think. I don't know what you think about your squat, but I think it's pretty good. Bench is the one it's responding well, and I think it's been behind the other two, so I'm glad to see it come up.
if I had to put a label on everything, squats consistent, bench is improving, and deadlift is kind of all over the place. So
Yeah. Um, but a lot of deadlift is like just being able to push it and not break. In my
yeah,
opinion, with you, that's what I think the main thing is.
I
You
think
see,
the biggest thing for me is just like whenever I have my heavy singles on squats on Monday because I am like pretty erect or dominant when I do squat. Like if the slightest thing happens, I know I'm gonna have like a subpar deadlift session on Wednesday. But that's the thing. Like I've become a lifter that I'm aware of these things, and I could just make adjustments on the fly for it instead of letting my emotions take
That
over.
is really important. Okay, that is not something that a lot of new lifters have. Just having that intuition and knowing how to adjust as you go. That's something that I mean, the way that I can help people get that is like they run into a weird situation and then I'll coach them through that and then they start to learn the habit that I'm giving them. So they
Hmm.
start to understand, oh, Joey said that when this acts up, I should do this. Or when this acts up, I can do this. You know, maybe he said drop my RPE and drop a set, skip the accessories, just get in the main stuff, whatever. So that's really good that you have that, and it's going to allow you to get a lot more out of your training. Um, so that's really good to see. Um, I'm just trying to see if there's anything else here. I mean, there's some Q&A questions about training, but we could do that later.
Yeah.
Um, what do you look forward to in a day? Like in your normal day, what are the couple things that sort of get you motivated? You know, I will not. I'll go first, and I'll just say, in the beginning, I was really worried about um, I thought the extreme. I thought I will make zero money and I need to survive for X amount of time without it, right? And I have a savings, so I knew I would survive, but it was not nearly as bad as I thought because you guys are determined and you will not train. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in the beginning, there were times where I didn't look forward to shit because I wasn't as busy, and I just didn't want to do anything. I had like 2 days where I was like, it was right before training, and I was laying in bed, and I was just looking at the ceiling for like 10 minutes. And then what always gets me out of that, and this is like I don't think a lot of people can do that. Whenever sadness or I get you could call it depression, I don't know. Whenever it starts, I'm really good at grabbing myself in that situation and throwing myself into something that's important to me. Like just train. I'll like get the fuck up and go train, and then I'm better after. You know what I mean? That is a
Hmm.
skill that um, I think every human inherently, when the something they love to do takes a hit, they start to feel a certain way. They don't want to do anything. That there's bad thoughts that come in their head, whatever. So having the just resolve to like get out of that funk. Um, here's a good example. When you have a lot of momentum in the gym, you have a big meet coming up, and you fucking get injured, and you just can't train. That shit will most people are gonna get like super sad from that.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, the tough guy thing to do is like not even tough guy. It's just you've dealt with it before, so you know how to handle it. It's like, okay, cool, I'm injured. What do I have to do now? What's my new day like? What do I need to do to like get through this? What should I be doing rehab or whatever, you know? And you just take that same relentless approach to training towards getting better.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing for me. It was like, okay, I'm not as busy. I need to fill this time with do fucking podcasts, start streaming more on Twitch, post more YouTube videos. Like just do something that's gonna help you get forward. You know what I mean? So um, that's what kind of helped me. Um, damn, I made this the whole thing about me. Really quickly while we're here, right?
Yeah.
People think these are interviews. They kind of are, but it's really just me and you talking about shit, right?
Yeah. It really is because like we don't spend a lot of time catching like Nats. Yeah, we hung out for a little bit, but you were like busy as shit. So it's like we don't
Yeah.
have to talk about these types of things.
And on nationals, I want to say another thing. I feel bad that I can't hang out with everyone the way that I would want, and I feel like sometimes people feel like I don't care about them or that I'm neglecting them, but I have to like I don't get to do any at nationals. There's not enough time to do everything I want to do. The
Yeah.
only fun for me aside from like the things that are work related is like I get to eat after every day and go to sleep really late and knowing I have to wake up in 3 hours. You know what I mean? So it's not that I don't want to hang out with anyone or I'm saying no to people. It's just um nationals is different. It's just a weird thing.
Yeah.
I'm stressed out most of the time, but I like it. I like it.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, what do you look forward to? What do you like doing during the day?
I mean, I would have to say, and it's going to kind of piggyback off of yours, but it's just mainly now just growing things that I know have the potential to grow because and maybe people that are listening to the video right now, they can relate to this, but especially during this time period, we have nothing better to do but just think and think and think and internalize a lot of stuff. And it's a downfall for a lot of people. Like there was this one guy talking about this in my stream the other day that he has nothing better to do but think right now, and it's getting the better of him. But
That's kind of crazy.
the number one thing you could do right now is just like keep yourself busy with something. It might not be lifting, but as long as you just take your mind off of strictly just thinking, it's gonna make your day a lot better. And that's kind of what I've been looking forward to a lot lately, especially since starting streaming, because I know that I could do so much with this platform that I'm investing that much more time into it now.
Um, I feel that there's not enough time in a day for me to do all the things that I want to do,
Yeah.
which I think is a really good place to be. Like I have all these different group of friends that play all these different video games, which I could choose to hang out with any of them. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? I just recently got in touch with like one of my buddies. So actually, kind of, I'm not trying to like this is gonna kill the mood. It's gonna kill the mood, but like don't let it. Right? I had a
Yeah.
friend die from the Rona. Right? He was very overweight. I think you heard me talk about it on stream. I don't know if you were in there. He was really overweight, but he was a great guy. We all used to hang out, and he died from the Rona. So it brought all of us together.
Hmm.
You know, it brought us together. Like, damn guys, you guys hear that what's the name died? So, and then I asked him, what are you guys up to? Like, you know what Discord is?
Yeah.
So I have like a million different Discords with different people in them. And he was like, "Yo, we're always in there if you want to play Valorant or something." So I click on it and I see them all in there, and I'm just like, "Damn, man, all the homies stuck together, you know."
Hmm.
And they always, they're always like, "Anytime you want to come through, just come through." Um, so that's there's so many things I want to do. Like, I wanna record a million videos. I want to play a million games. I want to do all my programming like for Monday. I want to do it all right now, then I want to walk Chloe. I want to train. I want to do bodybuilding accessories, which takes forever. And there's so many things that I want to do, and um, there's just not enough time. Like literally, I make my days like I want to watch 50,000 different animes that I can't watch. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things that you want to do. You just to be excited about that. Um, I don't know. It's crazy to think that there's like infinite fun things to do, right?
Yeah.
There's infinite fun things to do, and I think some people just have a hard time finding them. Since we were talking about Twitch, I had been streaming. I would say I was doing it before like the second wave that I'm seeing. Like it was just Ben, and then I was doing it. John Keiko was doing it. And there's no other lifters. There's
Yeah.
no one. I don't even know what to classify Silent Mike as because he does like a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he's like a strictly powerlifting person, but it was like Ben, and then I was doing it. I was streaming Apex. Like you could go back on my thing, fucking
Mhm.
mid last year. I was doing it right. Um, and then I started to realize like if I stop streaming the games because I play the game so late at night and I get like 10 viewers, that if I only did my lifting streams, I would have a lot better chance of meeting the requirements to get partnered. Right. My goal, my main. Okay, this is gonna sound kind of crazy. You hear my goal, right? I want if I get partnered, it's only because I want to go to TwitchCon and meet the doc. That's it. That's my main goal. If I do that, then like there's a way to do it. It's almost like there's a character in Hunter x Hunter that does all these things because he needs to get close to someone to kill him. He does all these things. I'm not gonna kill anyone. Don't get me wrong. I just wanna meet him. Um, but I mean, it's a fun thing. It's a social thing. And now that we saw the Rona thing happen, a lot more people are just doing it because they're home. But they will learn that Twitch is not like other platforms. You have to hustle. You
Yeah.
have to pull people to it. You have to constantly be telling people about it. You're gonna, and like we all can help each other, right? It's very easy for me to, like raid someone, and now they got some start. Now they got some start to it. Um,
The biggest thing there also is the retention. Because
yeah,
like I go into some fitness streams and not to knock anybody, but people aren't there just to watch you lift. They're there to hang out with you. So you need to be talking about something. You can't just like owl eyes into the screen and not say anything. I see that with a lot of people.
Yeah,
And I'm
I
no
mean,
pro or anything, but it's like
no,
I
one thing that I mean, I assume you're gonna feel like this too, is you never want to lose the like what if we get I don't think this would happen. You never know, but I don't even know if I would want this, but if you got so big on Twitch to the point where you couldn't even interact with people, you didn't even know who the fuck was in your chat.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, yes, you are going to be making substantially more money, but at the same time, I really enjoy the one-on-one interactions. I like when chat's just going off, and I don't have to do anything because you guys, you know what I mean? Like chat's just popping off on their own. Yesterday, I have my analytics thing up here. Um, there are times when I will stream like it's so irrational. It's like when you have a bad day in the gym and you let it bother you and you shouldn't because you know why. I mean, I'm
Mhm.
beyond that. But there are times when I will like stream and it's super fucking late. It's like 9 o'clock and I get on, right? And I don't get the viewers that I get as if I'm doing like Saturday morning and I've told people about it and I'm doing like a programming stream, right? We would have 100 people in there, no raid, right? And that motivates the shit out of you. When you have 100 people show up for you,
Yeah.
they show up for you, Tim. They showed up for you right now, live on a Saturday for you. You know what I mean? It
Mhm.
really means a lot. So I just have to always remind myself of that, and like yesterday it tells you how many new followers you got, and like I'll have a day where I get a shit ton of followers, and then I'll have another day where I get a lot of views, but I get like two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
Mhm.
like it's a very weird thing, and you just gotta kind of just be consistent at it. But it's fun, man. It's nice to get on there and like the fact that anybody would want to just watch us lift and hang out. It's
I feel
cool.
like it's kind of an escape for them right now since they can't. Could be because even though the country is opening up, there's still a lot of people that just can't lift. So it's just nice for them to watch that and interact with people that they vibe with. So
I wonder when it does open up if what would happen. Like if it's just gonna die. Our market is so tiny.
yeah. Well, I was taking a look at this because I was watching this one YouTube video the other day, and this is a guy. I don't know if you know him. I don't know his name, but he takes a look at everything that goes on with Twitch, like the top streamers, the
What's his
viewership,
name? What's he look
total.
like? What's he look like?
It's like some olive skinned dude, black hair. He always has a green screen. He's like the Ben Shapiro of Twitch.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I know,
I
I
don't know
know, I
his
know who
name,
you're talking
it's
about.
above me,
I'm pretty
but
sure I know who you're talking about. Does he have curly hair right now because he hasn't cut it?
yeah. So we're
Yes.
thinking of the same guy, yeah. So, but he was saying that the average viewership on Twitch as a whole goes up 30% every weekend.
Really?
Yeah, it goes up 30% every single weekend
I don't
since
stream.
we've been quarantined.
I don't stream Sundays. So I wouldn't know. I tell Saturdays always seems like it's decent, pretty good. Saturdays are pretty good, But like I said, like how the best thing for us is gonna be getting people. I was thinking about starting a group chat with you, me, and Nico, and we could just like strategize about bringing more people in because
Yeah.
it's literally just getting people from powerlifting, and showing them like, hey, there's a place where you can come hang out.
Hmm.
You might learn something. It's a different experience. You're with the lifter in the actual training session.
Yeah.
It's not the Instagram post where you see the best set, right? It's
Hmm.
the whole thing. Dude, I take my people through the bad days. There's the days where I stream and I bench 315. I bench 295. I don't go heavy at all.
Yeah.
Um, and then there'll be like really good days where I'm like, fuck, I should have streamed it. But I don't really think people care about that. They just want
They're just there to
um,
hang and chill.
yeah, I don't lift like super heavy all the time. I think that would help. Like if Keiko ever stays at my house again, I feel like we could stream it from like his thing, and
Hmm.
like it would get a lot of views because he would go heavy. Like we would use the pounds and put the 5 plates on there, and
Yeah.
like we'll get a lot of like random haters that come in to try to tear him down. Oh, this guy's yes. Tina came in to tell me that Keiko would be benching 4 reds plus. But normal people don't know what 4 reds is.
I get a lot of those like, how come your plates are colored?
I've never heard that.
Like, okay, well, and that's the thing we have to take into consideration. Like even people that watch Ben's stream, like they just know like 45, 25, 10, 5, whatever regular plates, and they come to our stream or something and they see calibrated stuff. It's like, how come your plates are colored and how come they're thin? So, which is fine. I mean, that's probably the majority. Like that's what a lot of people know as weights. They really haven't seen colored instead of just like powerlifting and Olympic weightlifting maybe. So
Who who um who else? Actually, no, I don't want to ask that. I'm gonna just go down my list here. Um, so you're moving to Texas.
mhm.
What? Why Texas?
I visited Austin twice, fell in love with the place. It's just it's something that's instinctively calling me. And I was talking to Joe Stanek about this. There is a lot of potential to open a powerlifting gym in the Austin area because one, Texas has a very populated USAPL membership, and two, there's no powerlifting gyms in Austin. There's maybe one.
I don't think I've been to Austin.
It's very city-esque because you've been to
Collegiates, wherever that was.
I think that was Houston, right?
Russ was very close by.
I think that's
I
the
mean, like maybe he was like an hour away.
hmm, probably
Um, but
wherever A&M is. I have no idea
I've
where
been
that
to
is.
Killeen.
And Killeen, yeah.
What I didn't like about Texas is the humidity.
See, there's like it depends on where you go because Austin is a very dry heat, and I love dry heat. It's really really humid here
Have
on
you
the.
been to California?
I have been to California. I don't. It's so muggy out there. It's
Huh?
more muggy than here.
Where did you go?
I went to LA and San Diego.
What?
I thought it was muggy
My
out. Maybe
weather is like
it was
my weather is I feel like I'm cheating life how good my weather is.
I think it's because of the time of year that I went. Because I went in January for the LA Fit Expo, and it probably because it literally just
It's usually like fresh but cloudy.
yeah that was kind of it. But
I like clouds a lot. I
it
like
was
clouds.
it was more muggy than here on the East Coast. Yeah.
I mean, you should go to the beach. Go to Santa Monica. Go to like if you ever come out here, dude. There's a lot of stuff to do. Me and Tina could go to Santa Monica and we'll start off at the promenade and then we'll walk up down the shops and then we can go to the pier and then like all just walking from the promenade to the pier, you're gonna see some shit. You're gonna see some street performers. You're gonna see some weird things. If you go at night, you could sit out by the dock and you can literally hear the seals.
Hmm.
You know, you could climb the fucking rock. There's Point Doom. There's so many things to do. Like if you want to feel, um, you just like I don't know. You want to feel small and insignificant. You go to the ocean. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of stuff out there. But I don't know. I feel like you guys just got to know where to go.
Hmm.
I mean, we live kind of down the street from where Kanye West lives, so there's a lot of like really nice places to eat here. I wouldn't say my house like I don't live in like a super wealthy area, but there are where we live. I would say is the cheap. Literally, now that I think about it, where I live is the cheapest possible place to live. Like literally across the street, it goes up like another 250 grand for those houses on top of what ours is. If you go to the left, it's like $1 million houses. If you go to the right, um, it's like we have these really really nice mountains and trails.
Hmm.
The only problem is they catch fire. They catch fire, and they make you feel like you're helpless. But anyway, yeah. So LA, California. Obviously, I'm gonna be biased, but you want to go to Texas. You feel like you're. I will say for business purposes, it's a great place to go.
Hmm.
For business purposes, would you be able to maintain the same job?
That's the thing. I would probably have to. Not even probably. I would have to get a different job because even though we're able to work remote right now, this isn't like I can't maintain this. I would love to just strictly work from home, but I would definitely have to get another job out there until the time comes where I could open the.
Are you allowed to disclose what your position is?
All I could say is I'm a senior accountant at my firm.
Senior accountant. I mean, accountants can work anywhere. I mean, you just got to find a job. But
Well, yeah, they can work anywhere, but again, it's like my company's very old fashioned. Like we just installed Windows 10 into our PCs. Like that's how old this company is. And not to talk bad about them or anything. Like I love my job and stuff, but we could be a little bit more advanced with the tech because we're fully capable of working from home, but like we still use physical documents that are at the office. So until we get rid of all that, it's we have to go in.
I feel that. What happened with Pulsate? Why did you start it, and then why did it kind of fizzle out?
It's like one of those you get excited right off the bat. It's something fresh, new, exciting. Like I've never dabbled in clothes before, and this is a huge fault of mine. I love doing everything by myself. Like I love saying it's like I built this up and it was only me. And my sister was helping me because I don't know the first thing about graphic designing, and she went to school for it. And she's graduating this Friday, I think, actually. Um, but it was just her and me doing it. And one, there were so many conflicting ideas of where to take the company because with me, I wanted to stick with strictly just powerlifting, but with her, let's broaden this to general fitness. And when you try to put too many eggs in too many different baskets, it just turns into a mess. Um, but and like I envy Russ because he's got great people by his side helping him out with GBT and everything. Um, if I had that, maybe I could do it, but it was originally what I thought was a passion of mine, and it just fizzled out. It just turned into too much work. And on top of that, it was putting a strain on my relationship at the time. So I had to ask what's more important to me, the clothing business that I don't know where that's going to go, or my relationship. So I just had to sacrifice one of those.
Thank you for the honest answer. That was the one question that I wasn't sure you were gonna want to get into.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I don't mind talking about it. Everybody knows at this point. It's just they don't know the minor details.
And for those listening, anytime you can admit that you made a mistake and learn from it and get better, not only will you earn my respect, but you will get a lot farther in life. And I think that is a quality and trait I would like to see more of in humanity. Is just like, yo, I fucked up. Let me learn from this and get better.
Yeah.
That's it. It's simple. It's not a problem. It's not a you can't fault anyone that can admit when they make a mistake and want to learn from it. I mean, I'm not perfect with things. I'm sure that if I did things right, like I could probably have like increased my social media by 50% if I would do things a certain way, but I don't care. I just want to do it. I just want to do it my way, and you know what I mean? So, you could call that a mistake, you could call that whatever, but it's like at the end of the day, life is what you make it. You get what you want out of it. Um, how do your parents feel about you moving away?
My mom's gonna be heartbroken. She's already heartbroken because I've been already looking at houses in Texas, and I think I had already mentioned this in the beginning, but it's crazy because I see some of the houses there. That same house here on the East Coast, and this is how I justify everything. It would cost easily 200 to 250% more here, just because our housing market is that bad. So
I'm
like my
telling you, I could. If I just cared about money, I wouldn't live here.
but yeah, like my mom's, she's devastated. Like I'm her only son, Hispanic mother, so
She's
I,
done. She's
I'm
done.
sure
She's
like
she's KO'd.
yeah. Like my dad, he's obviously all for it. Like my four
Wait,
older
why?
my
Why? Obviously.
and this is what I was going to segue into. My four older brothers, they moved away when they were in their early 20s, just because they were able to at the time. Things were a lot different back then. Um, but he's excited for me to just like be a man and like get life started and everything. He
I
he thinks it's very cool that I'm finally taking life into my own hands instead of living for somebody else right now.
That's
So that's
very kingly of him to support his son. I
yeah.
appreciate that. I didn't know you had such a big family.
Well, so my dad was married twice. Like my brothers, they're significantly older than me. Like the youngest one, he's gonna turn 48, I think. Uh,
Damn.
yeah, yeah. So it's like I wouldn't consider myself close to them at all, just because I really didn't get to know them as I was growing up. Like they still lived in the same vicinity. Like two of them still live in New Jersey. One lives in Tennessee. The other lives in California. Um, I only really ever got to know the two that still live and they only live about 10 minutes away. Funny enough, but yeah, I really wouldn't consider myself close with them. So
Yeah, I can relate. I just have my mom and my brother, and I don't really. My family is the flex fam, right? um, okay, so we're getting towards the part where we try to wind things down, so we start asking somewhat fun questions. What are three? I think you're already on stream, but I'm gonna do it. I already asked this on stream, but I'm gonna do it again here. Three movies, three musical artists, and three uh either real life events. Fuck it, we'll do them both. What are three real life events that influenced you to become who you are today?
hmm, I don't want to go with the three movies because I was thinking about this and now I completely forgot. The one is going to be Forrest Gump. One is Forrest Gump.
Okay.
And I know it might be a stupid answer to some people, but it just goes to show, like you just be a good person. That's the thing that I took away from that movie. Just be a good
Did you see the
fucking.
Joker?
I did.
Would you say that that movie is about just you got to be nice to everyone? That's what I got from it. I finished that movie and I said, "Man, we got to be nice to everyone cuz you never know what you say could affect how they could affect someone."
Yeah, I don't know why so many people thought so bad. Like I love that movie. I don't know why some
I
people
didn't
just.
think it was bad. I'm telling you, man, all these people they watch mainstream media, if they watch a couple animes, this shit gets way worse. Demon Slayer starts out like with something really bad happening. You know what I mean? It's like I'm telling you, people they can't get into the animation, but you'd be a lot more tolerant to the atrocities of reality if
Mhm.
you can open yourself up to fiction.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen this. I don't know if you watch Disney movies. Baymax.
I
I love.
fucking love that movie.
I
I
love.
love that movie. That was the best movie. It
Yeah.
was called Big Hero 6, I thought.
Oh yeah. I just
Yeah,
Big
yeah,
Heroes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that movie. I'm so sad they didn't make another one.
I was hoping they would, and then because I watched it recently, and I took a look at the date it was made. It was made in like 2016, I think. I'm so
I
upset they
love that movie.
because it had so much potential to have a sequel.
Dude, oh my god, that movie, whoever didn't pick up on that one, they fucked up.
Yeah. And third movie. See, it's like I had my list. I had my list last night, and it just completely left my mind because I was so busy today with
I'm
work.
surprised you didn't say Infinity War changed me forever.
Um, I only got two movies right now.
That's fine, that's fine. Let's go musical artists.
Okay, this is kind of this is kind of be a weird answer. Logic is going to be one of them, and I wouldn't say inspires me so much as disappoints me as well.
Interesting.
No, no, no. The reason I say that, I don't know if you ever kept up with him. Like he
I've
was.
seen him at the gym. He stood like 5 feet from me, and I didn't know who he was.
Oh yeah, because he's like kind of
I was
friends
like,
with
"Who's this nerdy guy?"
Buddy, right?
Yeah.
Because when I first got introduced to him, I think he just dropped the Incredible True Story album, and we went to go see him live in Columbus when I was with Gamma Labs. We had backstage passes and everything. It was such a great show. Um, I really enjoyed when he was on the come up because like he was like not so much not well known, but he was an okay hip hop artist at the time. But now it's gotten to the point where he always talks about the fact that he's biracial. His lyrics are
Yeah,
just
yeah, 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 dude. I could totally see that.
super repetitive, and how much he's getting hurt on social media all the time. It's like that. Those are the three main topics that he talks about in his songs. When you take a look at um, the Under Pressure album, for example, he has legitimate life stories to tell.
Was
So,
that before the last one?
oh no, this was like in the very, very beginning. This was way before the Incredible True Story. But
Uh,
yeah, I talked about this in stream. His most recent music, I'm just not the biggest fan of.
I
So,
totally get that. That is like one of his main criticisms, and I agree. Um, is there any other musical artists that really impacted you growing up?
uh, I like to listen to different genres of music. So, you ever hear the band Avenged Sevenfold?
Yes. My best
So,
friends growing up when I was like 13, when Halo 2 was really big, that's when like my friend was kind of emo, my buddy Aaron Chambers, I still remember him. He gave me really good advice. He was older than me. Super nice guy. He was it's crazy because he would dress super emo, but he was a normal dude.
I know a few of
He
those
would have
too.
like the freaking gloves with the spikes on them and like, all that, and he was just a normal guy. And we just there are times when he would literally wear makeup. He would literally wear like eyeliner or some shit, but we just were like normal with him. It was so weird. We had such a diverse group of friends growing up. It was crazy.
So the reason I say them, because the life lesson that they taught me is that losing someone so impactful to your core group could just lead to a downward spiral of a lot of different things. So their drummer, Jimmy Sullivan, the Rev, he died back in 2007, I think, because he overdosed. It was after their self-titled album. So Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater came on, and granted, it was good and everything, but Avenged Sevenfold wasn't the same band after they lost the Rev. So that just goes to show how much impact one person can make. That's the takeaway I got from them. Um, so yeah, that's why I love them so much. Like a lot of people shit on their music now. They say it's like soft rock, um, but some people will agree with me. Their old stuff is just some of the best music ever. Like you would watch you know the game.
No, no, no. They have good stuff. They have good stuff.
Um,
I like this stuff where you feel like it's good. Like you're driving a car fast or you're running really fast, and like their music is fueling you. You know what I mean? Like that. Like with the drums going really quick. I like that stuff.
how I first discovered them, and this is when YouTube was first a thing. I would watch RuneScape PK videos, and they used Avenged Sevenfold music in one of the montages, and I just fell in love with them after that.
So
So
RuneScape is a video game that led you to something that would dramatically influence you moving forward.
yeah. Um, and for a third artist, hmm, I would have to say John Bellion. Have you ever heard of him?
I have not.
So he's kind of like a pop-ish type of artist, alternative artist. And he's done some work with Logic in the past, but he really he has maintained a good level of being humble while still having that quote unquote mainstream notoriety recently.
Hmm.
So I just appreciate him because he at least so far he hasn't let fame get to his head. And granted, he hasn't been making as much music lately, but also like the deeper meaning behind a lot of his music. So I'd have to say Logic, Avenged Sevenfold, John Bellion.
Nice. I think that's good for stuff like that. Well, see, we're just trying to learn more about you, Tim.
Yeah.
Just trying to throw stuff out there. What is a major life lesson that you learned through lifting, or what from lifting have you taken and added to your persona that has made you a better person?
This is something that happened recently. I'm glad you asked that. Um, Not letting my emotions get the better of me, no matter what the situation might be. Like you've known me a very, very long time, and maybe like you could attest to this too. But whenever I had a bad session, I would let it ruin my day, 100%. And granted, it does happen sometimes, but it doesn't happen as frequently because I've become a much more intuitive lifter in the sense that I know that I'm going to recover from this. It's really not that big of a deal at the end of the day. It's like shit's gonna happen. Shit happens, dude.
So you are an example of someone that has gained the intuition, which is the thing that you can, I can give someone a program, but that it takes time. You're not just gonna get it right away. You gain it without even knowing that you're gaining it.
Hmm.
Man, the keys, you get keys you don't even know you're getting. It becomes a part of your bloodstream. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That's why I know you're gonna be all right. As long as your deadlift doesn't get hurt, like you don't actually get injured. This man Tim is going to continue to build that mental fortitude, maintain that level of tenacity, and go after his goals, both not only in the gym but in life. And he's going to document the whole thing, stay up on his Twitch, right? And he's going to be a winner. He's going to keep getting better today. There we go. Now, Tim, we're going to go to the questions from Instagram.
All right.
When are you going to bench 405? This is a very important question.
Ooh, I think it's in the cards for at least a year. Within a year, I'd say 405 is possible. I think so.
I have 8 months in my head. I don't know why 8 months is in my head, but yeah, a year, sure, that's good. You did 363 recently, right?
Overshot, but yeah.
Yeah. So once you feel it once, then it's gonna start to be better.
Yeah.
Are you gonna post more on YouTube?
Yes, I actually have. I'm in the works of doing a gym tour right now.
Nice.
So
What does Tim hate? What do you hate that I program for you? I'm not asking that
um,
because I don't really care. I just try to make people better.
I don't know. It's like I don't like you've said it yourself. I don't complain about the programming.
If I
I
put something in there, is there anything that I've ever put in there where you're just like, fuck?
safety bar squat because it
Okay, yeah,
jacks
that thing fucking fucks
that
people
whole
up.
upper back up so. I mean, and I have a safety bar. If you ever want to program that for me, it's not that I don't.
Hold on. Shout out to Burley Bork. I don't know if you know who that is, but that
Yeah,
guy is so strong on the safety bar. He squats high bar anyway, but
yeah,
Jesus, like
yeah. Whenever I
I
see his video,
cannot do that.
it's crazy. I can't
I'm
imagine.
like, man, that is some nutty safety bar. Um let me see how is being changed. What's one of the hardest challenges in your entire powerlifting career? I don't really. I mean, you kind of answered it somewhat. I don't know if you want to kind of build on it with that
I
question.
I would have to say, and if anybody's like a newer lifter watching this, you have to accept the fact that regression will happen at least once throughout your career. Like you're not going to have this linear type of progression where you're getting stronger month in, month out. Like I'm weaker than I was last year. I'll say that right now, but I'm a significantly better lifter than last year in the head.
I mean, some people have the head thing, the mental thing, and then when I inherit them, we just take off. Other
Yeah.
people, we're kind of going like this until we get that, and then we
Yeah.
can take off.
Mhm.
So, yeah, man, you are your thoughts. You become your thoughts. That's why it's important not to think negatively of yourself.
Mhm.
I'm not just saying to you, I'm saying to everyone.
Yeah.
I don't like when people call themselves trash and shit. Because you, at the end of the day, you're not
I,
trash. You're
I think
capable of getting better.
I think it's just become a meme that powerlifters out of like CrossFit, bodybuilding, this and that, we're the most
Yes.
self-destructive.
Why do we hate ourselves so much?
Well, I don't know. I don't know when it became a thing. It's like I'm trying to do it less and less. I'll joke about it every now and then, but I just try to be more analytical rather than just like straight negative about every session.
Are you ever gonna go down in the 74s? That was a Tina question, by the way.
No. I will diet to like low 170s, but I won't compete 74 anymore.
Smart. Who's your favorite stream viewer? So someone in your chat that livens up the chat.
Is El Homero banned?
He's banned. You're not allowed to say him. Matter of
Um,
fact, I'm gonna ban you after this.
clean six, brother. Um, I would have to say not John with a box or something like that. I just call him John all the time. And he's the one that was mentioning in the stream the other day that he's getting in his thoughts a lot lately, and he jokes around a lot in my stream. But we have these very serious heart to heart moments where it's like I know he's an actual person behind the screen or behind his username right now. So I'd have to say John.
That's interesting. I've never heard of this person, and we have a lot of the same viewers.
He,
Um,
he's been in your stream before. Yeah,
eh,
so many.
he should say hi next time. What would you say is the most important thing that helped you pull 300?
Mm. Are we talking about physically on the day? Because it was a lot of Tiger Bomb and Advil. um, it was honestly just, and this goes back to what you were saying about being injured mid prep, because this is when I first got a taste of like a true SI discomfort type of time period.
Hmm.
Because I wasn't able to train for maybe 2 weeks, but then I ended up having my best total. So I would just say having tenacity and persistence throughout your training, it's not even doesn't even have to be just 300. Like any number that you have in mind, you're eventually going to be able to hit if you just maintain those things. But on the day after my first squat attempt, my lower back was shot to shit. So by the time it came for deadlifts, I was just doing a bunch of 90-90s, popping Advils like they were candy, and having someone rub Tiger Balm on my back, and that's what helped. I didn't feel anything.
I I actually don't like to mask the pain unless it's pain that is so bad that I can't even do it. I can't hold it. Like my arm gets unbelievably bad after squat and meets. Oh, it's like I don't. It's so bad. But the pain makes me angry, which I think makes me push harder. I don't know if you feel that sometimes.
No, yeah,
Like the
it's
pain, if I
like a
can
fight or flight type of thing.
tolerate it, it's almost like when someone slaps you.
See, that messes me up a lot more than it helps me.
I don't want that either. I don't do that. I like to focus because it's like this weight will kill me. I need to lift it.
Yeah,
Calm, right? Um, but yeah, I tell people if you need to do that and it's legal, then do it. But be everything. Don't do it every session because your liver is gonna explode. What are your lifetime lifting goals? So what are some numbers that when it's all said and done, you would be like, you know what? I'm really happy I hit this. I could call it.
If we're talking comp numbers, 402 bench, 606 squat, 700
I
deadlift.
was just gonna say that. I was just gonna say, Tim, as your Joey, I I would be happy if you can hit these numbers. Hey man, that'll be a great example of someone who maybe didn't have the greatest genetics in the world. Maybe didn't have the best mental mindset when they started, but they went down this like crazy path and they got to this point, and that should be inspiration for every kid out there, anyone that wants to get into lifting, anyone that you know wants to do it. I mean, look at where this guy started and look where he ended up. I would say that'd be a great fucking journey. um, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna take a lot of work. You're gonna have to refine a lot of little things, but I think, I mean, those are great goals. And once you do it, it's kind of like,
Shit, what else is there?
shit, man. Like you did the thing. You did the thing, man. You did the thing. So, with that being said, I think this was a good one. I think
I enjoyed this.
we learned a lot about you. Tell everyone where they can find your three. I believe it's three social medias. I mean,
I'm trying to use Twitter more, but I don't know how that's gonna go. I hate Twitter.
I mean,
uh,
it's a weird app. Russ swears by it, but I mean, I just can't. I don't know how it works, and it shows people in your feed that you don't follow. It's weird. It's like,
yeah.
I mean, I guess it helps with discovery, right?
I mean, I know that a lot of Twitch users use it, but I never was able to just. It's like a diary that everybody's gonna see. It's a little weird, but
Yeah.
YouTube is gonna be my name, Tim Thibodeau. Instagram will also be my name, no spaces. And if you want to catch me on Twitch, try to stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just type Timodome, like Doug Dimmadome from Fairly Odd Parents, into the search bar. and come hang out. We have a good time, answer a lot of questions, and have some good laughs.
I'll have all the links to those down below. If you guys enjoyed this one, let me get a hashtag. What should we put? Tim Dimmadome, Tim Timmadome in the comments below. Tim Timmadome in the comments below. Thank you guys, and we got another podcast in 2 hours. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon.